Dumpling Days, Chapter 26. Painting class again. The teacher's fancy chops. This is our last week of class, the teacher said to us the next morning. So in the next few days, you must choose which painting you want to show in our exhibit. Exhibit? I remembered he had said something about that on the first day of class, but I hadn't remembered it until now. Audrey Chiang waved her hand in the air as if it were a flag. Is there going to be a prize at the exhibit? She asked, for the best painting? Yes, the teacher said and smiled. The teachers usually honor the painting they like best with a ribbon. Only one, Audrey asked. Only for the best. Well, one for each class. You know, there are other classes here, right? For Chinese writing and other things, he said, and then he repeated himself, as he often did. So, one in this class. Audrey sat up straight, as if she had already won. She wasn't really doing anything, yet I still wanted to slap her. Oh no, Pacey, don't bully. But before anyone can be awarded a ribbon, you must learn how to make a painting, he said. That was confusing. Hadn't we been making paintings all this time? Up to now, I've been just teaching you elements, he said, as if reading my mind, bamboo, flowers, birds. It is how you put them together that makes a painting. Most students spend years just painting bamboo, but this course is just to give you the taste of how to paint. So today, I will show you how to make a painting, and then you can try on your own. I still didn't really understand all that he was saying, a little bit because of his accent and his stuttering. He motioned for all of us to stand around him, like we did the first day. As he lay a piece of snow-white rice paper down on the table in front of him, using his carved paperweights to hold it down, I found myself standing next to Audrey Chiang. I tried not to look at her. The teacher fingered his bamboo paintbrushes lovingly, finally choosing one and swirling it into the water and ink. And then, just like he did the first day of class, he made a few strokes and a bamboo stalk grew on the paper. He added more leaves and crimson flowers. For painting, he said, it's about composition and balance. You don't want everything to be busy. You need an area of focus, but also the other areas to balance it. His hands lingered over the brushes as if deciding. Then his hand swooped down, quickly seizing one. What does seizing mean? His fingers reminded me of chopsticks, picking up the best pieces of meat from a dish. Then he seized another brush and circled it in the pink paint that I had just used to paint plum blossoms. And he painted a bird flying on the bare side of the page. After struggling to paint a bamboo leaf right, I felt awed. Each stroke was strong and certain, and his hands quick and controlled, blotting and brushing in a graceful dance. His eyes darkened in concentration, and every one of us watched mesmerized. He took his name chop and pressed a red mark into the painting. Everything in the painting must be balanced, he said. Even your mark has to be placed carefully. It's part of the painting. The red color has to be balanced. It can't be too close or too far from elements. Never put your mark on top of a bird or in the middle of your bamboo. What does the stamp say? Eva, the girl with the long hair, asked. Li Meng Shan, the teacher said, my name. I was glad I finally learned his name. It was kind of funny that it was only today, during the last week of class, that I learned what it was. But in a strange way, it was kind of fitting too, because after watching him paint, I felt like I was meeting him for the first time. I remembered on the first day, I just supposed he wasn't a good artist because he couldn't speak well. He spoke English so hesitantly, bumbling and stumbling over words. I thought that was the kind of person he was, and he wasn't. I realized that he was probably, that was how probably, let's try that again. I realized that was probably how people saw me here because I couldn't speak Chinese. They thought because I couldn't speak the language, I didn't have anything important to say. Wow, what a powerful sentence. I don't have a name chop, Eva said. It's okay, the teacher said. I have some you can use. But then our paintings will have your name on it, Audrey sputtered. No, you won't use his chop. The one with my name, the teacher said. I have others. And he reached over and untied a small roll of cloth. Inside lay 3 more chops. The figures on top were beautiful, bigger, and more intricately carved, vocab term, than my tiger. One chop was made out of red stone with gray flecks in it, and the top had a carving of 2 fish swimming on a wave of water. Another was a creamy ivory color with a bamboo carving, and one with a lotus flower was gray with muted orange and brown shining through. These are my chops for different moods, he said. Sometimes I add another mark with my name to add to the mood of the painting. I have some at home I will bring for you to choose from. You can borrow them for your painting if you don't have your own. In the future, maybe you can add your own to it. What did he say? I asked. These must be chops like the one Dad's friend had that said, never too tired for knowledge. It reminded me we hadn't gotten ours carved yet. I'd have to remind Mom. This one, the teacher said, stroking the red stone seal with the carved fish, says, this moment will last in my memory. The gray one says, spring opens the heart to happiness. And the bamboo says, fulfilling wish. The ones you can borrow, which I will bring, will say more simple, better for you. Will be more simple, better for you. What will those, the ones we can use, say? A square-headed boy asked. For some reason, I thought his name was Alex, but I wasn't sure. Joy, love, harmony, he said. That kind of thing, simple, but it will still look very nice. But when you choose, make sure it matches the mood of your painting. Every detail in your painting is important. We all went back to our desks. I guess the simple chops would be okay. Lots of people had nodded when Eva said she didn't have a chop. So most of the class was probably going to use the teacher's chops, but I'd rather have my own. I wondered if I can get mine carved in time for the exhibit. But what would I have carved? It was driving me crazy that I couldn't decide. Or maybe it was Audrey Chiang who was driving me crazy. I'm sure she would get something like forever the best carved on her name chop with plans to decorate it with the winning class ribbon. As she took out the paper, I watched her as she carefully looked around the room at each of the students. There were lots of good painters in our class, but there was no one who I could say was the best. Eva painted bamboo really well, and the boy Rex could paint nice flying birds. And I was pretty good too, but I could almost see Audrey calculating how to be the best. I was calculating too. How was I going to beat her? I was not going to let Audrey Chang win the ribbon in our class. I had a special art talent, and it was not going to let her win. At least, I hope not. Ooh, challenge.